There we are again, boys. Welcome back to another Digits Club video. Today we are looking at Fight Legend, a very interesting upcoming IGO that will fully focus on competitive PvP gameplay, capitalize on the growing esport industry, and of course it will be a very early IGO. If you're watching this video, you're early. There are big benefits to be reaped, big digits to be earned. So we're gonna get right into it with all of the information you will need. So stay tuned. Alright everybody, Fight Legends. A very interesting upcoming IGO, in fact, and I am very delighted to share with you guys all of the information I have on this IGO. It is very new, so not all the information will be available, but it will also make sure that you can get into this early and will consequently be able to reap a lot more benefits. So, what is this all about? This IGO is focusing on competitive PvP gameplay, meaning that you, as a karate character type of dude, will be able to fight other players and will be able to earn tokens and NFTs. They are capitalizing a lot on the esport industry, which of course is growing a lot, and the gaming industry alone is already bigger than the movie and music industry combined. Now, the esport industry is one of the quickest growing industries out there, and it will pretty soon probably replace a lot of the old school normal sports. So we're looking at something with a lot of potential. Now, we're going to get into the details really quick. But before we do, a little bit more context. So in this game, you will be able to earn NFTs. Now, these NFTs, you can do a lot of stuff with this. They have a lot of utility. You'll be able to mint them. You'll be able to use your NFTs in-game for special abilities. You'll be able to rent the NFTs out and much more. By playing, you will be earning. And obviously, you guys are already thinking, oh my god, I don't care about this game. I'm an investor. I want to know if I can make bucks with this. Now, we're going to look at the content. We're going to look at the gameplay. And even if you're an investor, this is going to be very important. Because if the game is trash, then you will not make profit, okay? So even if you're not going to be playing yourself, okay, tag along. We're going to look at it. We're going to see how it looks. And it has to be pretty. Otherwise, why would you invest in it? So, okay, we're seeing a 2D type of Street Fighter aesthetic. They have gone for pretty basic looking characters with very basic looking graphics. Now, that is not necessarily a bad thing, right? I don't know why this isn't loading. There we go. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, look at, for instance, Fortnite, right? Very bad graphics overall, very basic graphics, but the game has absolutely exploded in 2018. So the graphics, it's okay. I do feel like it looks a little bit like a mobile game in that sense, right over here. And the trailer does look a little bit cheap as well. The gameplay does also look a little bit clunky. But then again, it is in very early development and there is a lot of things still yet to be done. Now, I have looked into the actual gameplay and I do feel like there's a lot of strategy going into it. And I feel like a lot of people are able to look through not very good graphics if the actual gameplay is good. And guys, I can tell you, although it's still in development, it looks promising. There are a lot of different moves you can do and ways to customize your character, making this game very in-depth. Now, that makes it promising, right? People don't mind too much about graphics if the content is good, and it's looking like it's gonna be some pretty good content. Now, over here we have the Whitepaper. We're not going to get into that. They talk about the different modes. Now, I'll brief you guys real quick. So there are a bunch of modes. We have Arcade. There you can play with whatever character you like, even though you may not have it unlocked yet. That is so you can basically find out what character suits you best and what character you enjoy the most, but it's not competitive. Then we have the Story mode. You will not be playing against other players, but you will be earning rewards and playing against AI. You can do this offline without internet connection. And then we have the two competitive games, which one of them is NFT mode. Here you can use all of your NFTs and special powers and abilities that you have unlocked and perhaps even bought in the in-game market with the currencies. And then there will be a game mode purely and only for skills where all of your other abilities don't matter. Now that is the truly competitive game mode, which will be used for esports. Okay, so there we go. That's everything. And then here we have the NFT utilities. Now, like I said before, they have a lot of utilities for their NFTs, which is very, very good. Of course, an NFT without utilities doesn't have extra value. Now, if you bring a lot of value to an NFT, the price will also be more valuable. They've already stated that they will be putting new content into the game all the time, meaning new NFTs all the time will come out as well. But they only put limited items, NFT, and champions into the game, meaning they might release 5 NFTs. But that means that you will be able to get that NFT, but it is only a bunch of them, meaning that the value will get higher and will stay higher, again, because there's only a limited amount of them. So that is very well done. Now, again, like I said before, there will be NFT hiring. If you have a good NFT with a lot of utilities, you can rent it out to someone else. That person can then use it in fights, and every win that they make, you will get a percentage of their tokens. So if you have a lot of good NFTs and you're renting them out to other people and they're playing and they're winning, then you will get basically passive income. And these tokens can then be used in the ecosystem to buy other things, such as new NFTs, champions, or whatever the token can be used for on the site. You can also sacrifice and upgrade your NFTs. Now, this is a pretty clever system. If you want to upgrade an NFT, you will need 3 of the same kind. So you will have, let's say, 3 NFTs. Then you will combine these 2 into this one. And where do the other 2 NFTs go to, you guys? They will be brought back to the community. This is a deflationary system, which will be good for the ecosystem. Now, you will be left with one NFT that is stronger and has increased value. This you can now rent out for more money. You can save it, or you can obviously use it, as it will now have more utility. They talk about sacrifice and summoning, but that's basically what I just said. They just have different words for it. You can sacrifice an NFT if you don't want to upgrade it. You would just get some coins for it and you can just burn it. And summoning as well, you can buy NFTs and get new NFTs like that. There will be fighters and trainers and gyms. Basically, these are just entities that will upgrade the stats of your champions so that they are stronger in NFT mode and story mode. They work pretty much how you would expect them to work. And if you want to level up your characters, you are going to need these gyms and these trainers, and they will basically serve as a home base for your guys. Then we see the FightCoin. This is going to be their token. It has not been released yet, and the TGE is yet to be announced. What we do know, however, is that there will be a second coin. This FightCoin is going to be the supreme token, right? It's going to be the elite one, the private one, and then there will be a public token as well. This public token, that will be the token you will earn when you win a fight, right? And this token is for basically everything else. The second token does not have a name yet. It is still unknown. This token, however, will be called FightCoin. And like I said, the token generation event is still yet to be announced. Over here, you can join their community. They have a Discord server with 15,000 members. It's quite active as well, so they definitely have quite a big following. And overall, a lot of people on the Discord are just talking about a whole lot of stuff, mostly actually about, hey, let's jump into a game, or hey, you guys have this NFT, or blah, blah, blah. Definitely a lot of people seem to be playing. However, I also looked into some live streams, and I saw that a lot of streamers were waiting literally hours sometimes to actually get into an online queue, to the point where they just started playing story mode because there were not other players online, showing that the actual player base of the game is very, very small, even though the following of this game, right, potential investors, is a lot bigger. Now, this is partially because they have not had their their public sale yet. So a lot of marketing still has to be done, and the game isn't even fully developed yet. So I expect that the player base will gradually increase over time. But as for right now, they don't have a very big player base yet. If this doesn't change, it would basically be the death of this project. But like I said, because of multiple reasons, I expect it to gradually increase over time as the development comes closer and closer to an end, and as the public rounds and the token generation events kick off, and the marketing machine truly starts to be oiled, and then more players should join the fold. In the end, it is free to play, so there should not be a barrier for anyone not to touch this game. So I think that the player base will eventually be filled enough for the online mode to not have queues of an hour, but rather a minute or two. Moving over to their team, they have quite a large team, a lot of people with a lot of experience. I have one negative, and it's quite a big one. It is a bit of a concern for me. Now, what is it exactly? If we move over to the LinkedIn of Will Fagan, which is the founder and CEO, we can see that although he has a lot of experience, sorry, it's the wrong one, this one. We can see with his experience, I'm sorry for, this is in Dutch, but it says experience. His experience on LinkedIn is full of companies that are not doxed. They do not have LinkedIn pages. Now, that is not a problem if that's with 2 or 3 companies, but he has absolutely no companies that have a LinkedIn page on his entire history. If we move over to his GM, he also doesn't have it. So it makes me feel a bit dodgy about the whole thing, right? Why have you never ever worked for a company that has a LinkedIn page? It's a bit weird. It doesn't give me good vibes. However, I digged a little bit deeper and we see Megan Henderson of Strategic Marketing Consultancy. She is also part of the core team, and she does have some big companies that she's worked for with LinkedIn pages, including a Burger King and marketing manager, but with Vodafone. So we're definitely seeing some actual good doxed team members here, but higher up, very high up in the team, we are seeing some sketchy stuff. There are also some other team members that have not been doxed. Look at Sho Akatuska, if I pronounce that right, Abdullah Abbas. These people are not doxed whatsoever. It doesn't matter too much if there's just a couple people not doxed, because the rest is. But yeah, definitely worth mentioning that there are some sketchy patterns in the team, but for the rest, it's looking okay. And that's basically the end of the website over here. So let's move over to the light paper. In the light paper, we can immediately see some cool cartoony designs, which I like very much. Table of contents is very average. We just see our basic, our vision and tokenomics things. We're just going to look into that. So again, their vision is to be a competitive PvP esports. There's a fly. To be a competitive esports game, right? Really focus on that PvP aspect of the game. Now, what they say here is they want to be a AAA title. Now, you don't need to be an expert to see that this will never be a AAA title, right? We are seeing graphics and gameplay that just will never reach AAA capacity. So to put that on the light paper, I feel it might be a bit misleading. Regardless, I do like the fact that it is free to play, and as I said before, capitalizing on the gaming industry and in particular the competitive esport industry, I think is a very good decision, as these industries are absolutely booming and I believe will be the future. Anyways, that is their vision. Here you have the Fight Legends multiverse and the economy. Now we'll zoom in on the economy for a little bit. Of course, they say all items in Fight Legends are player-owned NFTs and will be earned through story mode of the game, in addition to other rewards and prizes for completing challenges and completing tournaments. So here they talk also about the different modes that we have, right? The enchantment mode, where you can just play whatever character you like. The NFT mode, where you can use all of the NFTs that you've earned to boost your character stats. And then we have the very competitive version of the game, the very competitive game mode, where it's just purely about skill. And of course, everything that is owned, everything that is an NFT, everything is an NFT, and it's all owned by players. That's what I try to say. Then over here we have the community. This is basically how to earn the tokens that you want. And you can earn it by winning fights in PvP, advancing your way through story mode, lending their fighters as mercenaries, as we talked about. There will be unique daily and weekly challenges, sacrificing fighters, which is basically just removing the fighter NFTs you don't want, or the fighters, and you will get a small compensation for that, and wagering when challenging other players, so there's a little gambling aspect to that as well. Then here a little bit more about the gameplay and the esports, but we are not going to go into that. We already did that. Here again, the gyms and the fighter customizations. Now this is a pretty cool thing because we have here a screenshot. Over here you will be able to see your tokens and the level of your character with your profile. And here will be basically the item shop where you will be able to buy, perhaps even sell, and customize your character to make it look nice and sexy, like this chat over here called Cookie. Over here, you can also navigate to trainers and inventory, where you obviously will be able to organize your inventory and go to the trainers to upgrade your guys. Now, the level cap seems to be at 80, so I assume that they will be improving this over time. Higher level means more incentive to keep playing longer, so I assume that this level will keep going up as time progresses. Okay, moving forward to the tokenomics. Now, what we see over here is quite interesting. We do not see a private sale. Instead, we see a friends/family sale with a price of just $0.005. Then we can move over to the seed, which is 0.010 cents. Strategic with 0.025 and public with 0.050. Now, the vast majority of tokens are going to be in seed with 15%, but a lot of it will also be in friends and family, and only 2% will end up in public. Now, again, this is not very uncommon. What is uncommon is that there's not a private round, but instead a friends/family round. Very peculiar, haven't seen that too often. There will be a NA on the cliff, and day one release, of course, for friends and family will be very, very small with just 1%. Public will be very, very high with 10%. Vesting for friends and family will be 24, which makes sense because they get such a large discount. And for public, only 6, which isn't too bad. The release will be daily, and here we have the max and the token TGE. The market cap at TGE will be 375,000, so that is quite big. I have seen market TGEs at much lower prices, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily above average. It's an okay market cap TGE. Here we see the tokenomics, pretty straightforward if you were to ask me. We have 32% in reserve. What I do find odd, however, is that we have twice reserve in the 32%. Very particular. Friends and family have 5%, seed 15, strategic 5, and public 2. Team and advisors are in 1 in this tokenomics, and they are at 16%, which is quite average. Liquidity at 10 and marketing at 10 as well, which is quite little for a game that basically needs players. So very little on marketing here. I'm hoping that they will have enough funds to attract players to the game with 10%. I think they might, but I'm not sure. 5% for ecosystem, and then again 32% for reserve. Might be a mistake, might not be. We are sure to find out. And here you will see the vesting schedule. You can pause the video if you would like to look at this in a little bit more detail. Moving over to the partners, they have quite some interesting partners, most noticeably obviously DAOmaker and DAOlaunch. So I'm assuming their project will be listed on a DAOmaker, which obviously is one of the biggest launchpads out there, tier 1. So that is a big partner. We also have some other relatively well-known partners such as Synapse AI, Alchemy, and Entersoft. So these partners are giving me some good trust into their company. They look very, very good. Then we have the 2022 roadmap. This project, again, is very, very young, so they haven't started yet in 2021. So the roadmap will just be for what they've done so far this year and what they're planning to do in the rest of this year. In Q1, they have done quite a lot of updates, from the demo for NFT holders all the way to the rewards for testers and continuing to sign additional partners. In Q2, they have actually listed the FightCoin as an ITO and started the in-game marketplace and companion NFT drops and more. And Q3 and Q4 will be the biggest updates of all, as they will release the full alpha and the full reward NFT functionality, large prize tournaments for NFT holders, and early in-game rewards will be activated. Okay. Then here we have their team in a little bit more detail. Again, we already went over them, so I won't put too much emphasis on it. But we're definitely seeing some big years of experience. Anton with 20, and here Megan with 25. Now, this is an Australian-based team, so not necessarily important where they're from, but it is good to note they're on the other side of the world for most people watching this. So yeah, an Australian team. And here again, an overview of the rest of the team. I would say a good 75% of them is doxed and a couple of them are not. And then finishing up with some beautiful design. All right, and here in their app, once you connect your wallet, you can enter this through Bloody Faces. This is another part of it's a different site basically. If you click on this here, you will be able to get your mint pass and start obviously minting. There's only a bunch of NFT passes that will ever be, be able to be purchased. The maximum supply, the total supply is 3,333, and they've already sold 940. Now, they're on the network Polygon, which has been doing crazy lately. They have increased 50% after their deal with Disney. Apart from being a very promising network in and of itself already. And I really like Polygon Network, and I also really like how this is looking. So they've already sold nearly 1/3 of their total passes, and obviously once the total supply has been sold, you will no longer be able to get a pass. So again, this video is early. You're still early. There's still 2/3 of the passes available, but in several months from now, or definitely a year from now, I would not be surprised if there are no more passes. So time is of the essence if you are interested in Fight Legends. Moving over to their Twitter page, they have 25.5 thousand Twitter followers, which on first sight might not be that much, but considering that they are not a launchpad but an IGO, and that they've only just started this year, 25.5 is actually really big. Considering that their Discord is also 15K, it's a pretty big following with a lot of interested people. Their pinned comment is from the 14th of July, 62 likes, and they're basically posting twice a day really. A lot of just small stuff, quotes or announcements and stuff like that. Just the things that you would expect. Their interaction is quite good actually, especially if you keep in mind that they post multiple times a day. They have overall a very positive sentiment. I went over everything, many tweets, and I found that there's a lot of returning people, a lot of interested people that come back to this, and we are seeing overall a very positive sentiment over on their Twitter and also on their Discord. Not really any scandals that I could find, and a pretty good positive sentiment. Now, they also do have a white paper, but this one seems to be more outdated because they don't even have the roadmap yet, and you can find the roadmap on the light paper. But over here, there are some other things too, but really nothing that there's everything that's on here was also in the light paper. That's why I didn't go over it. But, it's here. You can read up on some additional stuff, such as why they chose for Polygon. In my opinion, that's not very interesting because we both know why they went for Polygon. It's a great network, but they listed their personal reasons for going with Polygon. And just a bunch more stuff, but we don't really have time for this. And we already went over this for the most part, but it's there if you wish to look at it. But you guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. It's a little bit shorter than normal, but I think we actually breezed through it and went over all of the information quite efficiently. So now you should have all of the information you could possibly desire, and you can make up your own mind. Obviously, if you do feel like you're going to invest, also, please do some extra personal research as well. Who knows, maybe you're watching this video and it's already a bit old and some things might have changed. So do your own personal research as always. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao, ciao.